What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Submission Fishing Live. I'm your host, Muto. Everybody here ready to get their black belts in fishing? Glad you could join us tonight. How's everybody doing? Sorry, checking the diagnostics. Looks like we got some delay here. Benji Moreno, Oos, welcome to the show. SoCal Steve, what's going on? Welcome. TB Metal Art, Todd, welcome. I think we got some delay. I might have to switch the camera here. You guys let me know. Some great video, right? Great podcasting live. Yeah, delay. All right. Let me switch over here. Let's see if we get it worked out here. How's that? Better? Hopefully it is. Switch to the lower res camera, but I think it should work. Still don't quite understand what causes it. Sometimes the setup works, sometimes it doesn't. The only crappy part is we get the crappier audio, which kind of sucks. Let me finish the shout outs. We got TB Metal Art, we got Benji, we got SoCal Steve, Oos, what's going on? John Escobar, Oos, welcome to the show. Ghost, what's going on, man? Glad you could join us. Pohukai, Oos, welcome to the show. Dave Rage, what's going on, dude? Welcome. What else we got in the house? Dondo's Fishing, what's going on, man? Dondo's out there. Andreas killing it on the 60 gram, dude. You got some yellowfin. What were you on the Grande, right? That's awesome, man. It's all good, dude. Leonard, Oos, what's going on? Welcome. Leonard, you didn't make the pickle run either, huh? Next time. Oh, you were on the boat last time, if I remember. Salty Dangler, Oos, what's going on? Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. You know, nothing changes. Like, I don't really understand, like, there's got to be something going on. Something must cause the delay in the computer. I don't know what it is. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Denny Perez, Oos, what's going on? Thank you, Jessica. We appreciate the insight. Let's see who else we got here. Yeah, Grande full day. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. That's good to hear. Let's see. We'll go through. I got a few things in here for you guys. Not too much. Honestly, I've been on the road today. I was out. I've been driving about 5 hours, so been super busy. It's just been one of those weeks. You know, where everything just it's just been one of those weeks, man. Yeah, like Todd was asking how the place in Florida. Yeah, everything's going to Florida. My house, I got flooded out, dude. There was like 9 inches of water. I think we talked about that last time. House in Florida pretty much got trashed. So, you know, we've been dealing with basically insurance and getting a contractor out there, restoration and stuff. So they're doing their thing. But like I said, at least the house is still standing. Unlike some people, it got flooded, but it's all got to be fixed up. And then it was, yeah, today I had to go, just go visit my mom. So she got some stuff going on. So I had to go make a bonsai run. Like I said, we were on the road for about 5 hours. Drove out there, went to see her, and then took care of some stuff, and then came back. And then, like on top of all that, right, this whole week has been just like crazy. And then so the general manager of one of my companies that he runs it, right? But now he got sick. He got COVID. So, and he got it pretty bad. So then he's been out all week. It's just been like, it's just one of those weeks where it's like, damn, you just don't even have time to breathe, really. Where everything can go wrong. Like it all goes wrong at the same time. It's crazy how that works. But so I got a few things on the list. But if you guys got questions or anything, let me know. Like I said, I didn't have much time to plan it. Had to even was even wondering if I was going to do the show tonight. So if you guys got any topics, just let me know. But yeah, we'll make it happen. As long as we talk fishing, we should be good. We'll get it taken care of. Yeah, man, we'll talk about that later. It got hot, dude. Like the fishing, it's still like it's crazy. Like it kind of petered off. Like it seemed like right after the hurricane or during the hurricane, like it died down. But yeah, the numbers are freaking crazy again. We'll have to talk about that. Max Kim, Oos, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Fishing Reps, what's going on? Oos, welcome. Just ordered some. Yeah, you did, dude. I appreciate that. We got some other orders going out to too. I saw them coming today, so hopefully we'll get those out for you guys tomorrow. Like I said, I was kind of busy today. Who else did I see in here? Brian likes to fish. What's going on? The spotty champion of the world. Welcome to the show. Yeah, I mean, we were pretty lucky. We found somebody that could get out there like the same day. So like we have like our real estate agent out there, but then also like our finance. So we know somebody that like used to live out here that lives close to that neighborhood. So I think we lucked out. They got on it pretty quick. But yeah, the equipment, that's a whole nother thing, right? Equipment short is crazy. Yeah, dude, you don't want to manage that. Well, maybe you do. I don't know. I need a life manager for a week. This is the week, man. It's crazy, but we're still here. We're still alive. We're still doing it. Life goes on, man. Cave Dog, oops, welcome to the show. Ironfish, welcome. If you guys see people typing oos, if you're new to the show, basically just means that they've liked the show. They hit the like button, so I really appreciate any love. It helps with the algorithm and stuff like that. So any interaction, the thumbs up, we really appreciate, guys. Right? Is the go sell some repipes, dude. That's funny. Let's see. Fishing news wise, nothing really new. The only story is the one like we've all heard of, right? It's the one in Ohio with the walleye fishing weight story. I mean, that one's pretty much been everywhere. So that is a big news story. I know it's been talked about to death, and everybody's been doing that. So if you live under a rock, that's kind of the story of the year. What's crazy is like how much national attention that's gotten. If you guys haven't seen it, basically is this video. You can find it anywhere. People were stuffing weights inside of these walleyes, and they were cutting them open, and it was just chaos. People were getting all crazy. Everybody was just nuts. Like it seemed like a somewhat regional show, but I was surprised like how many people have seen this, and everybody was like, people that didn't even fish were sending it. I had one guy, my buddy Mark, my coach and friend. He owns the gym up here in Carlsbad. He knows I like to fish, so, and he sent me the story, and he's like, what's going on here? Like somehow he had seen it, right? It was on the front page of news and everything. Everybody's wondering that don't fish, like what's the big deal with the story? Obviously, those of us that do fish, but I'm just surprised like it got so much traction. Like, surely that's not the only fishing tournament where there's been cheating, right? It just seems so crazy. Um, but then other people that don't know fishing, like my buddy Mark, he wanted to know, like, he was like, what's going on here? What's the big deal? And I don't think a lot of people understand, like how much money is actually in fishing. Some of these people make a living, like that's all they do as professional fishermen. And I don't think they understand, like, there's millionaires in fishing, right? There's lots of money in fishing. Some of these tournaments are hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm not saying this one was, but even if it's a few grand, and these guys had won a couple times and then they were caught cheating. And people that aren't in the fishing, like I don't follow competitive fishing, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know like any like it's not like NASCAR. I don't know any of the professional fishermen. Like I couldn't name one probably if you asked me to, but I know people are like bass fishing is huge. Saltwater, like it's not so much, but like freshwater and bass fishing and stuff. And it's a huge thing. It's a huge business. And people wearing the jackets, like these just have the sponsorship. I tried to explain it. It's like NASCAR too, right? When you're out there fishing and you're on the podium and your jacket is like sponsored by Shakespeare or Cigar. These guys are making money, man. Like it's a huge deal. It's really a big thing. So I think people from the outside are like, they laugh about it, right? Like, why are people getting so mad about fish getting stuffed with weights? But it's like, it's a serious thing. And we do tournaments, right? And there's a little bit of cash prize. Mostly we do them for fun, but we win a couple bucks here or there. But imagine if you found out somebody was cheating, we'd be pissed off too. Just even in our little group outings and stuff like that. But yeah, it was nuts. I'm just surprised how big it was. Like I was just seeing it everywhere, man. On the covers of like news outlets. I was like, we can't escape this story. I think it was just the reaction people were getting. How upset everybody was. But I mean, it's good. Any like, I guess any attention to the fishing world gives you a chance to explain it or tell people how significant it is. Garner a little interest in the sport, so it's not a bad thing. Sounds like a challenge I would accept. Let me know, dude. You got my number. Text me. We'll put you on the horn. I'm making them trophies, 3,000-pound weights. Heck yeah. DJ B, oos, welcome to the show. Crazy. There's been 3 cheating scandals last week. The fishing one, the one in the poker, and the one in chess. Oh, I didn't hear about the poker one. I heard about the chess one a little bit. But it's crazy that like the fishing one seemed like it was the biggest. Maybe just because like everybody was like sending it to me. That's pretty crazy. Yeah, stuff in. So they were like catching the smaller walleye, filleting them, and then like stuffing them in the thing. That's where it's kind of like. And most tournaments are weight, guys. I don't know if you know that. Like we do the one that's length, but most tournaments are based on weight because it's honestly it's like the realest. If you want to catch the biggest fish, like biggest fish by weight is like the truest size of a big fish, right? Like length is one thing, but length doesn't mean anything. I know for our tournaments it is, but most tournaments don't do length. A lot of them do weight. There are some length, but weight is typically like the big factor. I know for us out here, it's like all about length. Length is easier to determine is unless you bring them in for weigh-in, right? If you were, that's the problem with weight though, especially if we do all of ours on Discord and like showing pictures, dude, you'd never be able to verify that unless you were bringing the fish in. So it's like length is the only way to do it sometimes with pictures. And even that, like we do spotty bowl, how you can't cover the whole fish like with your hand. And that seems crazy, right? Like if your finger and your palm is like covering the spotty. And the reason apparently like that rule was put in is because in some tournaments people were like cutting the fish, would cut a fish in half, and they put their fingers like over the fish to cover the cut mark, and they'd extend it like an inch, like with the 2 fingers. So they'd act like they put their hand over it like they're measuring it, but they would cut the fish in half. It's crazy. I was like, I didn't. So that's why, like in spotty bowl, your hand has to like be, your fingers have to be on the fish. They can't be like over the fish because, I guess not in spotty bowl it didn't happen, but in tournaments in general, people like cutting fish in half and then like extending it like crazy, man. The lengths people go to win tournaments, it's nuts. But that just shows you how much money's in it. Oh, Fishing Rep said, yeah, they won 300,000. Think about that. See, I didn't think it was even that big of a tournament, but it was. Maybe not that tournament, but just think about that. These guys won $300,000 and they cheated. It's like, how long have they been cheating? That's what's nuts. And that's why people were saying like, people were laughing when they were like, oh, call the police. But if they cheated out, that's literally fraud for like $300,000 if you were cheating and defrauding the tournament. So that's not a small thing, man. That's a big mistake. Not a mistake. They knew what they were doing. It's a big transgression, I guess I should say. Basically stealing $300,000, assuming they were cheating on all the ones. I don't think they can prove it, but nuts. So yeah, that was the biggest news story. But if you guys don't know, just Google it, look up Instagram, anything like that. You guys will find it. Yo, Chinator, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you can be here. The scandal ain't no joke, right? This is crazy. Everybody knows about it. Oh, Cave Dog is saying those dudes won 500K. Oh, over the last 3 years, including, yeah. See, I didn't even know that they were that successful. That's crazy. That's a lot of $500,000 and a boat and everything else. So I guess that's why you would cheat, right? When you've got that much on the line. But it's no different than any other fraud. I mean, you're basically defrauding $500,000 any way you slice it. Whether you rigged a baseball game or whatever, it's the same thing. Still cheating. But I'm pissed off what they did to the fish. Well, were the fish? So I'm interested. I don't know this. Do they bring them for live like weigh-ins? So were they like stuffing weights down live fish? I thought they were just dead in general, but I could be wrong. So were the fish alive for like live weigh-ins? Because I know that that's typically a thing, right? You have to bring in a lot of tournaments. You have to bring fish in alive, put them in the bait well, and then weigh them, and then they release them. So were these guys like stuffing weights into the fish and then just letting them be released with like weights in their stomach? That's crazy. That's like a whole nother layer I didn't even think about. Oh yeah, those guys would be blacklisted. What was that other scandal? Let me look here. SD Fish always has it on the front page here. Oh, the dark secrets of the Bass Guru. I know that was the other big one. And this one was like a couple years old, right? Let's see here. Yeah, you guys know this one. If you guys don't know about SD Fish, go check it out. It's a good resource. Lots of good stuff in there for even bait fishing and everything, but it's like a real local thing. So if you guys aren't members of SD Fish, go check it out. Coach Wolf is always on there too, but I know this one's always been on there since we're talking about the news and the cheating and the walleye thing. Like, I guess this guy was a big how catfish poacher lied, cheated, snagged, and bribed, bullied his way to become the big bass king of the world. And this was like 3 years ago, 2019, but this has been like their top story. I know this was a huge thing. This guy's local, I think, too, but yeah, it's like you don't recover from that, man. That's crazy. Mike Long. Nuts. I think Brian said he knew that guy. Don't you, Brian? Get him on the show, man. Let's interview him. We'll do we should start a show. You know, they got like how to catch a predator. We'll be like how to catch a fishing cheater. We should do that. Do like some undercover setups, like get to know people, act like we're their friends, put the sting on them, get like the undercover cameras. That'd be good TV. I bet that would be like you could sell that. You could sell that show to somebody. Yeah, the cheaters won the 300K. Yeah, they ain't coming back. What can you do? There's nothing you can like do or say. Even if you went clean like the whole time, it's like you're not coming back. Should not cheat other fishermen or hunters. They carry guns. That's right. Oh, really? Is this like the same fish or different fish? Man, that's crazy. What a waste of pliers. Guess you need to bring metal detector to the sandy bowl. I don't know if is lead conductive. Well, it should be, huh? Metal detector probably find it. I don't think it's. As I would say, you can use magnets, but I don't think a magnet would. I don't think lead's conducive to magnetism. The metal detector probably would. Yeah, the poker one just goes to show you, man. Like the cheating is people do anything to win, man. It's like reputation's everything, I guess, or so important to people. That's every sport, right? I mean, steroids and baseball. It's like You can't get away from it, man. It's when you start getting to the top of the heap in any sport, it's like cheating is just it becomes a thing, unfortunately, especially when it's livelihood and hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars are involved in it. It's unfortunate it comes with the territory. To think they had enough to win even without the stuffing the fish. Aaron Kruger, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show. Glad you can join us. Check out Aaron Kruger, Spotty Slayer. Oh, you've been slaying it lately, though, Aaron, with you got some good Barracuda, Corvina. Seems like you've advanced your bay game from Spotties to like pretty much everything. Bonito, yeah, that's right. You're getting the Bonito out there too. That's funny, Dave. Might not be a bad idea. It sounds funny, but why not? It's relatively cheap. Just scan them real quick. Brian says, I was a weighmaster for a bass tournament series 2 years ago. I would have noticed when I picked up those fish that they were too heavy for their size. I'm sure he did too. But they got away with it for so long, I think. It wasn't like a one-time thing. And these guys won lots of tournaments. But people had suspected that they were cheating, which was crazy. Oh, in Ohio, cheating to win anything over. Yeah. Those guys, they're done, dude. They're screwed. Not even just in the fishing scene. Like, yeah, they'll probably be prosecuted. They done. Michael Tran, welcome to the show. I don't know if I shouted you out. Glad you could join us. Live weigh-in. They don't release the walleye. They donate them to soup kitchens. The UFOs didn't want to donate their fish. Yeah, I wonder why. Lead poisoning. Imagine donating fish to like a soup kitchen, and then they just boil them, and they're just boiling lead in the soup. That's crazy, man. I refer to snagging fish as Mike Longing it. Was that what he was doing? Was snagging? Those of you guys that don't know, there's like you'll see it in like freshwater techniques, or like snagging is illegal. So sometimes when fish don't bite, you can do like this erratic motion where you're not trying to get the fish to bite the hook or entice them with the lure. You're trying to like snag them in the side. Snagging is typically illegal in most places, and you'll see people do it. So don't be Mike Longing it. You couldn't catch a fish if the cameras were around. That's funny. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So we'd have to look into that. We need some with somebody that not a geologist, right? That's a study of stones. With somebody that studies metals. I have to get that. Iron Fish, oos, thank you. Guys, hit that like button. I quit fishing for spotties unless I have to. Did you? I don't believe you. Come on, Aaron. You can't abandon the spotties, dude. Did you really? You're onto the top water or what? Oh, save the spotties for winter. Yeah, we've been talking about that. Um, maybe I haven't been on the show, but yeah, we've been talking to that with other people. Like winter's coming, so prepare yourself. Winter's coming. Spotty time. Bay season's almost here. Well, we don't have a choice. The pelagics leave, and now rock fishing is going to get closed down. So it's like you don't really have much of an option. I heard they didn't donate. Yeah, because they were cheating for sure. Metallurgist, X-ray would detect. Can you imagine that? Like having to X-ray all your fish that bring them in. Ooh, so you guys see these custom emotes here? If you want to be a member, you can get the emotes, custom emotes, get the belts next to people's name if you guys see that, just if you're wondering. About to start ultralight jigging for trout this winter. That's awesome, dude. I caught one trout last year, and that was about it. Got it on a gulp. The gulp, like little sandworm. I grew up at a lake with trout. The thing about trout is like a lot of the lakes out here they stock, so it's depends where you go. One of the like the crappy things is they when they stock lakes, like it's in that it's like out here in San Diego, more specifically than I've seen in other places. Like people they follow the stocks around, and then whenever there's like a stock at like Dixon Lake or some like I live up in North County, so in Escondido and they stock these lakes. I think it's everywhere, but you can actually go to the website, the government website, and they'll tell you the stocking schedule. The problem with that is it's like people follow that too. So they when they go to the trout, go to fish trout, and it was like they go the day that it gets stocked, or like the day like those 2 or 3 days after it's been stocked, it's like it's wild, man. Because the lakes are so small. Like out here in general, they're pretty small, so they stock lakes. Then people like they watch the schedule, and then they go to like the lakes for trout. It's like it's chaos, man. It's chaos. I went. I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I went out one day. I think I went up to Lake Dixon, and it maybe like 2 weeks after they stocked it or something like that. But yeah, there wasn't much out there. It was pretty slow. But these guys, they just watch it and they rape these things, dude. So it's hard. But I got one up in the mountains, up at Lake Gregory. Got a nice lightning trout. So that was pretty awesome. On the little gulp floating worm. If you guys want to catch trout, and you guys want to know the business, what we used to do as kids, my friend Carl, we used to go fishing like Green Valley Lake and stuff. And I heard somebody else talking about this. Maybe it was Dave Rage or something like that. Get night crawlers, and you inflate them. So if you get a needle, like a hypodermic needle, you stick it in the worm and you inflate the worm. You actually blow it up. And you do a weight, just like a Carolina rig. Like the weight goes down, it hits the bottom, and then you inflate the worm, and the worm will come up. So after like 2 feet, 18 inches or whatever, the weight hits, but then like 18 inches above, you've got a worm or a night crawler that actually just it floats in the water and it's like full of air. Game over, man. You want to catch them, that's how you do it. But those little gulp worms work too. Like they almost look like little maggots or like mealworms. They're kind of small but floating. Floating is the key. Anything like just off the bottom because they kind of sit in that mid column. I'm not an expert trout fisherman, but hey, I got one last year. What can I tell you? I'm pretty much a pro at this point. Fresh water is not really my forte, but we'll get it. DJB, thank you, dude. Damn, $50, man. I really appreciate that. Love tuning in on Thursdays. This contribution to the diaper fund. Baby well, either of you getting any sleep, dude? Thank you so much. That means a lot, man. We'll definitely put that to the diaper fund for sure. That goes to the Florida fund. Yeah, we've been sleeping good. Baby, man, she sleeps. She sleeps really well at night. She'll do like sometimes 8 hours, 9 hours, like at a stretch, or she'll do like 6 hours, and then she'll eat, and then she'll sleep for like another 4. So last couple nights she's been up like later to like 8:30 or so, but like once she's out, like she's done for the night. She'll eat up once to eat, but yeah, she sleeps really, really well. So we got pretty lucky. She doesn't sleep during the day though. Like 20-minute naps is like maybe you get an hour out of her, but she'll be like 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes. But then when night comes, like she's done. Just like her parents, man. She doesn't like the nights. Let's see here. I fish for salmon in Oregon, and if you accidentally snag them, you can't keep them. Yeah, they got big rules against that for sure. Yeah, freshwater is totally different, man. We should do a show. I need to get somebody that does freshwater, that's really versed in it, and maybe go over some of the different laws. Like when you hear a lot of things in freshwater and saltwater aren't the same, like the hook limit and stuff like that, or barbless hooks or something. So, like if you throw an A-rig in freshwater, I think you're limited to 2 hooks, right? I think 2 hooks on anything, or two lures on your A-rig. The rest just have to be like dummies. So you're kind of limited. Like saltwater, you can throw, as long as you're not targeting like rockfish, you can throw as many hooks as you want out. Like I've made videos, like my YouTube videos. I get people, they bitch about stuff all the time. Like I was catching spotties, and somebody was somebody was like commented on there, ah, you can only use 2 hooks. So you're like, what do you thought? They just don't know. They probably fish freshwater bass, and it's like, dude, you can put 30 hooks on this thing. It doesn't matter. Not for the spotties and stuff, but so a lot of people don't know, or like you'll see that the designation for like the two rod rule. So you can only fish one rod in um, freshwater unless you have the second rod thing on your license. So also you don't need that for saltwater. So if you don't ever fish freshwater, you don't need the second rod. Saltwater, you could have many rods as you want. As many rods as you can manage is my understanding. Again, there are limitations for like rockfish and stuff like that. So how many lines you can have out. But like from shore, you can straight up throw 5 rods out at shore. It doesn't matter. The lagoon, as long as it's saltwater. So saltwater is typically a lot more lax than the freshwater is. But you don't want to go in being a saltwater fisherman into freshwater, taking some of your rules, like throwing that A rig with, and you get dinged. Fish and Game going to come out. They're going to light your ass up with some fat tickets. So just be aware of that, guys. You got to know. You got to know the laws are different for sure. And there's like some streams or some places you fish, you can't. You gotta have like barbless hooks. It gets complicated. Fishing regulations is like it's like the tax code, man. Nobody really understands it unless you're like really in it or like specifically to what you're doing. It's like I don't even think Fish and Game probably even understand, half of the shit that's in there. It's just so complicated. There's barracuda, bonito, corvina, white sea bass. I like to try for these fish because they'll be gone soon. Yeah, that's a good philosophy, man. That's the same way. Like I like fishing offshore, pretty much all summer because the bay is always there, right? Like spotties ain't going anywhere. They live in that damn bay 365, 24/7. Spotties aren't leaving. The other fish, just like these, it's like you have a limited window. They come and go. Yeah, get them all. I like that philosophy. Get those while you can. You could always go back to your other stuff. I feel like those poor spotties going to take a beating. They took a beating last year. You're going to get that ass whooping this year, too. Google says metal detectors would pick up lead. Well, there you go. Problem solved. The Google Master. Thanks for that, Salty. Right? That'd be a quick fix. I guess why hasn't somebody thought about that before? They'll just think of something else. Like they were sticking the fillets in them. They'll figure something out. But if a fish eats a lot and it's got like tons of bait fish in it, that still counts, right? They don't have like it's so weird. Stimulate. Welcome to the show. Don't know if I've seen you here before, but welcome. I hate freshwater fishing. The fishing, freshwater fishing is hard, man. Um, it's no joke. Freshwater fishing is not easy, and part of that is just it's so much pressure. The body of water is so small. There's no tide. There's only so many places they can go. It's like there's so many fishermen there. I see the same lures. It's not easy. It's not easy, especially bass fishing. It's like some of these like lakes out here, they're freaking tiny, man. You think all these people are out here? That's why the farm fishing works for trout because they just like they toss these things in and they're starving and they don't know what to do. They just eat whatever. But like the fish that live there, yeah, it's tough. You've got to be a different kind of fisherman. You got to have some patience for sure to be a freshwater guy. Saltwater is like way easier comparatively, I think. Jigging 1/16 to 132 lead heads with a plastic minnow in different colors. You been to Green Valley Lake, Dave? Way up there in the San Bernardino Mountains? Yeah, split shot. Yeah, dude. 100%. Guaranteed fish. At least trout. At least trout. Any stock trout will eat blown up night crawler. I agree. I agree. Heck yeah. Everybody keeps telling me how lucky I got, so I'm not going to complain. Even when she doesn't sleep during the day, it's pretty funny. Although, I know you guys don't want to talk about babies. But my wife just sent me a text. She said, I love that you're still wearing your poop shirt. So we took the baby up. It was a couple hour drive. And we got there. And so I took her out, right? We're walking into my mom's place. And like she got this long deck. And I'm kissing the baby on the head. And I'm like, just kissing her on the head, carrying her. I'm just like, man, this baby smells like shit. Like, I don't know what the hell's wrong. She had poop all over her hair. So then it was all over my face, my lips, my nose. So I'm kissing her head, and she's got crap all over herself. It was like all over my shirt. It's probably still on my shirt. It's like I just left it there. So it was like it spilled. So when I took her out of her thing, I think I tilted her upside down. She had crapped her pants. I came out of the diaper. She had crap in her hair. It was like got all over my face. I'm driving. I'm at that point, like I'm a true dad now because it's like I don't even care. It's like baby shit on my shirt. I'm like, whatever. It is what it is. That's the life I live now. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Feel bad for her, but babies, man, the baby life. You damn right I'm still wearing that crap shirt. I ain't got time to change. I literally just got home like not too long ago. Ain't got time for that. MMFC Trout Derby. Yeah, we should go raid. We should do that. We should go see when do it when there's a stock, and we'll just all show up. When it's already busy and packed, just go freaking raid one of these lakes. Bring another 30 people up in there. We drive these dudes crazy. Lingcod Sabiki rig. I don't know if you can do. So I think lingcod count is the rockfish. Then you can only do the 2 hooks for lingcod, I believe. I think they're part of the rockfish. I think I'd have to double check. I think they're part of the rockfish complex. First time my friend brought me freshwater fishing, so I bought squid. Did it work? I bet they'd eat it. Hot dogs, man. That's where it's at. 35 minutes away from Green Valley. Yeah, you're not that far. I was just up that way today. Yeah, that does work, dude, for sure. Berkeley Gulf's no joke. Smishing at the lake. Dude, let's make it happen. That'd be savage. Just like everybody with like limits of trout in their stringers. Just clean the place out. Carl Black, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us. Yeah, that'd be funny. All right, guys. So let's see what else. One thing I do want to point out. Remember last week we talked about the Dorado were like running up in Oregon, and we're not. There was that many. There was like one or so caught in Oregon. There was probably a few. So the Dorado had kind of run, and they disappeared. We didn't really see them down here. They were basically all along the coast, from like San Diego up to Orange County, and then it seemed like for the past probably past couple of weeks, I'd say maybe 2 or 3 weeks, the Dorado disappeared. You can see a lot of the Orange County boats and stuff went back to basically fishing like rockfish and then the inshore stuff. But after watching the dock totals in the last couple days, you'll see something that's interesting is look at this. So Dana Wharf, this is Dana Point. They're back on the Dorado. So, and we're talking just like 3/4 and half day boat. So 3/4 day. This is with 25 people at 65 Dorado and 1 bluefin. I don't know why they got them doubled here, but the Lexi 2 had 2 people and had 20 Dorado. So that means they limited out. That's 10 Dorado. You can catch 10 Dorado a person here in America. So you're starting to see, look at this one, 3/4 day, the Sum Fund, 30 anglers, 123 Dorado and one bluefin. So this is right up here in North County in our local waters. And this is where they were a couple weeks ago. And even so, that's Dana Point, which is a little bit north of here. And then even Orange County, they were coming down to get them too. And you can see one boat, the Freelance here, and 27 anglers, they had 35 Dorado. So which tells me they're likely coming south to get them too. The Freelance usually goes to Catalina. I've been on that boat many times. They typically go to Catalina looking for bonito and rockfish and stuff. That's like their go-to place. But they were doing the Dorado trips, and then the last couple of weeks they were back to Catalina. But now, so they know that the Dorado are here too. And then the Oceanside Sea Center had a 3/4 day. They didn't do as well, but still, a 3/4 day. They had 17 anglers and they had 18 Dorado. So we know, and this is what we had talked about last week, where are the Dorado going to come back down south? And it looks like they are for sure. Like that one boat had 130 people at like 130. So that's limits for everybody. That's basically 10 Dorado for 30 people. So they had a 30 person limit on the boats. So they're kind of in that same area again, like that kind of North County. They're still getting them in San Diego too. But of course they're just going deep. So you can see here, the fishing's still popping off. H&M Landing, Malahini. I mean, they only had 16 people. They got 45 rockfish, but they got 32 Dorado. 32 Dorado, that tells me 32 Dorado basically says they were probably, so that's limits. So they were down in Mexico then. So that's two fish. So when you see like when it's doubled, that basically just means they were in Mexico. When they've got more than double, it usually means they were fishing in the U.S. I think all these boats are going south. I mean, Grande on a full day trip, 32 people, 54 bluefin, 33 Dorado. So it's like, you guys, it's as crazy as it's going nuts again. So it like slowed down, but if you guys got the means to get out, it's like, it's definitely picked back up. I mean, look at these, 1.75 day, 230 yellowfin, 71 Dorado. I mean, these numbers are crazy. This is what we were seeing earlier in the year, just like a couple months ago. Seaforth Landing, let's see what they were doing. The El Gato, so that was a full day. They got 10 Dorados. So they probably limited 2 apiece. I like watching the full day boats because they kind of tell you how close they are. The multiple day stuff, like the 2 days, they always get on fish just because they go down so far. It's not a problem. They have so long to fish. But these 1 day boats, these full day boats are really what you want to watch. So the San Diego 35, again, so they had 70 Dorado, 38 bluefin on a 1 day trip. The Sea Watch had 26 bluefin and 26 Dorado for 13 people. So, you guys, if you got the means to go out there, it's definitely hot again. So the fishing is like kicking ass. This is like what it was, which is crazy. So it's almost had a resurgence. This is what it was like 2 months ago, and then it slowed down. Of course, it slowed down like when we went out submission at sea, right? It ironically was kind of a downtime, which kind of sucked, but it's back on, man. So you guys definitely get out there. If you can get on a boat, it's still hot. Even the full days are getting on them. So if you want to get your last little bit, I don't know how long it's going to last, but the fact that it's October 6th and that there's still bluefin, yellowfin, and Dorado like crazy in limits. So get on a boat if you can, or at least get out there and fish. I think I'm going to try to get out. I'll probably try. I might launch at a Dana Point, see if I can go get on that dodo bite if it's still there. They're probably at like the 209 or something like that, a little ways out. It's funny because like the half day boats are still getting like the sand bass and the rock, like some of the rockfish. So I know they're not. It's a little too far for the half day boats, but the full day boats are getting them out of Orange County. But it's crazy. So I don't know if like, remember we talked about the Dorado going north. Well, where are they going to go when the water gets cold? So I think the water's cooling. They're probably making their way south. And once they pass through here, my prediction is they're right here now again. in kind of that Orange County, North County, San Diego. Probably in the next week or two, they'll be back down, probably at the 9 Mile bank. That's my prediction. Anything can happen, but I think they'll be in the 9 Mile and anywhere in between, probably in like the next week or two. So keep your eyes out. We'll see if that comes true, comes to fruition. But if they're following the cold water south, I mean, they have to go to Mexico. Whether they stop or not, it's a different story. Or if they go really far west and then back around. But it looks like they're coming down the coast again. So that's exciting. So we might have another shot at maybe some kayak dodos. I don't think they're coming that close because none of like the half day boats really aren't getting on them. It's mostly 3/4. Yeah, dude, they're back. Dodos are back. I don't know where they went. They hit out, but based on the numbers, they're here again. So if you guys got that dodo fever, man, go get on them if you haven't got them this year. It was crazy. Even the tuna, freaking tuna just blowing up, man. Yellowfin, bluefin. Yeah, I know Dondo's fishing in here, man. He went out there with the 60-gram assassin and beat some ass on some yellowfin. That's awesome, dude. So get out there, guys. It's just something I noticed. I just look at those fish counts a lot, seeing kind of what's happening, what's not. But get on there if you can. Just starting up. Green Valley is my backyard. Green Valley Lake follows the Eastern Sierra schedules. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I actually lived in Running Springs right there for a couple of years, probably like 6 years. So I was like just a few miles away from Green Valley Lake. So like I said, I had a buddy named Carl when we were in like junior high. We just went through like this fishing kick for a while. We'd go up there in Green Valley Lake. We were like the only ones fishing, so there was always like fish. Nightcrawler City, blow them up. I mean, this was probably 30 years. It was probably like 30 years ago. Crazy to say that, but maybe not 30, maybe like 25 years ago. I hate boats with so many people, aka combat fishing. Yeah, it definitely helps if the boat's like, if people know what they're doing for sure. Unless you get, but if you can go sometimes in these off days, like Tuesday or Wednesday, some of these boats weren't even full, not even close. The Malahini had 16 people on it. 16 people on the Malahini? That's crazy. That's you would have so much room, especially up the front. But I think what's gonna happen is once people find out that the bite's back on, the boats are gonna get crazy again. Right now, they're like limited loads because I don't think people really know. Now that they see the numbers, they're gonna start to get a little busy. But Dorado, it doesn't really matter that much because they don't fight that hard. They're fun, but they're not like a tuna. So you can get them in fairly quick. You don't really have to go over and under that much people. A little bit, but you can beat their ass pretty quick on some decent gear because you don't have to be line shy. Dorado, when they eat, you can go 40-pound, 50-pound line. They don't care. It's the tuna that are hard because sometimes you have to downsize your line to get bit, and then it's challenging because they fight harder and you're on lighter line, so it takes a lot more skill to get them in. Dorado, just blast them, man. Throw on your heavy line, and just horse them in. You usually be good. Kayak trout session in Big Bear, that would be cool. I'd be down for that for sure. I think it'd be fun. I've actually never fished in Big Bear. Been there plenty of times, but I've never fished the lake. That'd be interesting. What's interesting too is the lakes are lower up there, so the fishing's actually easier because they just have less places to hide. When the lake gets low, it's like it consolidates the fish into like shooting fish in a barrel. It becomes easier to catch once the lake kind of recedes. It's also the same reason why a lot of people like fishing the low tide or like the outgoing tide for spotties because they have less room to go. You know, when it comes up to high tide and the rocks are like when it fills the rocks and everything else, you think about how many cubic gallons. It's probably like trillions just in the bay. It's probably like 1 trillion cubic gallons of water increases when the tide comes up, and it's more room for the fish to roam. Maybe that's a good thing, maybe that's a bad thing, but when it recedes, they have less places to go, so the fish are a lot more consolidated and targeted. So Um, that's what I've heard people say. I've never really like done a target stuff at like low tide like that. I've been more interested in the moving water, but it kind of makes sense. You know, if all the water's off the rocks and a lot of the pilings by shore, especially if the spotties go up to shore, well, they're probably not that far inland, especially if there's grass there. Chances are they're going to be sitting in the grass just off of the rocks. Then when the high tide comes up, they probably go back to the rocks, back to the pilings. But something to keep in mind. Lower the water, less places the fish have to go. Not not offshore, that doesn't matter. But when like we're bay fishing and stuff like that, lakes obviously don't have tides, but some of them do open the dams, open and close. So right now they've been really low because like droughts and stuff. So they haven't been filling them, or it's just like the snow runoff hasn't been as good, so they're lower. And my biggest numbers in October last year. What, the trout? Big bear trout? Big bear are all small fish. Yeah, none of the fish up those in like those lakes are really that big because they're usually farmed and then people blitz them. It's not like the wild trout. You know, ones that like live there for a long ass time, like Utah or like some of those other lakes where they actually like have a fishery that like where they actually spawn and like grow themselves. I'm not saying they don't in some of these smaller lakes, but generally it's like not really their natural habitat. They're there just they're there to get fished. So it's like hopefully the farm brings in big fish. The lightning trout I caught was actually pretty big. It was probably like I'd say 14 inches or so. It was definitely over a foot. I think it's pretty good for a trout. It wasn't like that fat, but I know it was farmed, but I still smoked it. It was good. Smoked trout's the bomb. Gregory is much better on the yak, in my opinion. Private company, putting good sized trout. Yeah. Yeah, Lake Gregory was, I don't know, they had something like with COVID. I don't know how it all went down. There was like a private company, it was privately managed, even though it's not owned by the lake itself is run by the county, but it was managed by a private company. During the whole COVID thing, the company that was managing it, I know like fell through and then a new company came in, but yeah, it is privately managed now. I don't know like how the transition took place, but it went like almost all 2020 and 2021 without a stock. And then I think, well, the end of 2021, they started stocking, and then this year they started restocking again. But there was a time there where it was just like, it was, it was pretty much dead. They just weren't doing anything. I've never yacked on Gregory. I've like rented the boats, like the rowboats, and you just row out there. We have to check the rules. You know where we should go, guys? If we want to do like a serious um, freshwater trip, if you guys are into it, and a place I've never fished but I've been kayaking was it's Silverwood Lake. So it's on the backside of Gregory. So the San Bernardino Mountains. It's it's not even that far. It's on the backside of the mountains. It might even still be considered San Bernardino Mountains, but there's striper in there, and there's actually really good striper. So they've got stripers, they've got trout, they've got bass, and it's one of the best, I think, striper fisheries you can find in Southern California. I've seen videos, like YouTube videos, people striper fishing there. It's crazy, and I don't know, and I think they just live there naturally, and I believe they stock it too. And it's my understanding Silverwood is, you'd have to look at the things, but I think it's a pretty well managed place too. I think you have to pay to fish, probably pay to park, and I have to get a supplemental license. But um, Silverwood Lake would be fun, I think. It's a little bit of a drive. Yeah, you down for Silverwood? Also, they got some good off roading there too. So if you guys got four wheels, like we could literally do like you can go fishing, you can go off road. They got some badass off road trails. I know because when I first got my Jeep, I got it stuck there. Very first time, brand new. It had like 1,500 miles on it, and somebody had to pull me out because I got it high sided on some rocks. But like the other parts, you can do some easier ends, but it's fun. So if you got a 4x, we can. There's different parts of the trail, so you don't have to do the hard stuff. But It'd be cool if you guys had 4x. If you want to do like some off roading and then fishing, we do like a true redneck outing. We could all wear camo, get crazy, go off roading, go fishing. What else do rednecks do? Go shoot some guns. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if there's any land out there to shoot. To be honest with you. Yeah, maybe we should plan a Silverwood trip. I'd be down for that. I'd be down to catch a striper for sure. My freshwater game's not very good, but still cool. But I know you can put kayaks there too, and it's a big. The lake is big, so that's like one of the other good things about it is like some of these other lakes are really small, so that might be a good thing. The Silverwood is like it's a good size lake. You couldn't cover the whole thing in a day in a kayak, I don't think. Silverwood's a California state park. Yeah, well, maybe we'll get something together. I don't know like what the seasons are. I don't know when the fish bite. We'd have to do it. I'm not that good at freshwater guys, so we'd have to like kind of figure out when's a good time to fish. Because when it gets colder, it's my understanding, right? Like the fish are still there, even like when it's like freezing out, but they go. I believe they go deeper. So you want to go deeper to the more center of the lake because that's actually where it's warmer. But they have to eat, right? And then as it gets hotter, they come out. Or is it vice versa? Or do they come out? Or does it get warmer on the inside? I don't know. I'm maybe just talking out my ass at this point. Get those, yeah, dude. I'd be down for that. I'd be down to see if that works. We'll do a challenge, right? Like who can submission on the lake. See who can. We'll give some prizes away to see who can get like catch certain fish, or who, if we can catch fish on the submission fishing jigs. We'll do like some giveaways and stuff. I think that'd be cool. Just do like an unofficial one. Make a run out there. Let me know what you guys think about that. See if I had anything else on the agenda here. Not too much. Bonito we're in. That's another thing. Aaron Kruger was here. He just talked about that. If you guys want Bonito, yeah, it's a good sized barracuda. Now's a good time. They're in Mission Bay. If they're in Mission Bay. They're probably San Diego Bay as well. I usually have a lot of luck with them. Like actually inside like America's Cup or even Kellogg, like the inlets, they like to swim in, kind of like those real shallow areas. They're not that deep. I have better luck in the channels or in the bays where there's boats and stuff. I don't know if they're looking for bait more so than I do out in the open water. But go check the bays. Bay Bonito, those are fun, guys. So Bay Bonitos, Bay Barracudas. Like I said, the dodos are coming back in and offshore. So fishing's good. Fishing's good. So go get it. Yeah, let's do it. Cool. Yeah, let's get something together. You know, it's maybe we'll work out some carpooling or something like that. But or we just all meet up there. I'll look into like prices and stuff like that as far as like because yeah, somebody said it's a state park, so you got to pay to do that. I know if you, I don't know if they inspect like they inspect boats. I don't know if they inspect kayaks because they don't want. I know they're like cross contaminating. Like they don't want you bringing like algae and barnacles and stuff that's foreign from other lakes into those lakes because they're invasive and they like destroy the population. So there may be like a kayak inspection. I know they do boat inspections and like your boat has to be dry. So you have to wash it and it has to be clean and it has to be dry. So like everything had died because they don't want like foreign organisms like destroying the lake. So just something to be aware of. If you got any growth on your kayak, you might want to have to clean that out, sanitize it before you go down. I'm down. Got my 4x4. Yeah, dude. There's a badass off road trail. It's so fun. It is really fun. And like I said, if you're not like that experienced, there's still like a pretty easy, you know. But it's still got like the inclines. But then there's like intermediate trails along the side. Like literally, you go up and you can like just peel off the side where it's like a little harder. But if you just want to go over the dirt and like test your 4x4, there's like an easier side to it. That's like, and it's got like the steep drops and stuff, but it's still pretty safe. But then if you want to go a little more crazy, You can go up some of like the ravines and stuff. But yeah, I'd take some of you guys off roading. I could fit a couple people in my Jeep because it lets off like it goes up Silverwood and then it actually lets out at Lake Arrowhead. You could almost pickle run it, to be honest with you. Like you could plant people like at one end and then or go down back and forth between Lake Arrowhead and Silverwood Lake. Quag mussels, yeah, that's what they're looking for. That's what they don't want, right? Yeah. Yeah, they inspect. Okay, so they do inspect. They inspect the yaks. Got to be completely dry. They'll reject you immediately. Yeah. So yeah, you got to make sure it's dry. Make sure it's dry. Make sure it's clean. Oh, really? You went up there? Yeah, it's crazy because if they're not dry, I think the organisms can still live. So, but like if it's dry, they've assumed like it's kind of died off. So just keep that in mind if we do go. Make sure you leave it out in the sun for a little bit. That's crazy. They lost the lease on the lake. Who is that? In Silverwood? We'll check it out. We'll figure something out. We'll make it happen. I can't pick another expensive hobby. It's still fishing. You could use all your same gear. Or are you talking about the off-roading? Yeah, dude. I don't off-road that much. I've been a few. Back when I was young, because I grew up there, we used to ditch school all the time and steal our parents' vehicles and then go off-roading and, without licenses, all that crazy stuff. But I'm not like a professional off-roader now. I've got a Jeep Rubicon, but so it's like already kind of built, but it's not like, I don't have like hundreds of thousands of dollars like poured into an off-road vehicle. It's pretty much just stock, but it's got like locking differentials and you can unleash like the sway bars and stuff so it gets more articulation and all that. It's the mussel inspection. No wetness on the boat allowed. They want 8 days. Okay, from the last time you were on another body of water. Yeah, that's good. And you guys are in the know. Got some freshwater guys here. Silverwood is a great striper. That's what I'm saying, dude. It's right in our backyard too. Well, I'd say it's probably 2 hours away. 2.5 hours, I would say, to get there, which isn't that bad. Actually, that's for me. If you're deeper in San Diego, it might be a little longer. Let me clarify that. I do live in North County, but you guys that live in Inland Empire, dude, you guys are like 30 minutes, 45 minutes away, right? Dondos, Benji, you guys are right there. Heck yeah. During the winter, when they stock the trout, the striper fishing gets hot. Oh, the off-roading, yeah. Yeah, dude, off-roading is an expensive sport if you do it like hard because it just destroys your vehicle, man. It's like racing, like drag racing. Those dudes are insane. Like every time you race, it's like you've ruined something on the car. Off-roading is like that too. It's like if you off-road too much, you go too crazy. It's like guaranteed you're gonna wreck. Something's gonna go that's like $1,000. I don't go that crazy. We just try to have fun with it. Half hour for me. Oh, damn, you guys are all right there. That might be a good trip for you guys. We just need a striper expert though, because I'll be honest with you. I know stripers that I know nothing about striper fishing. I know they'll eat jerk baits. They'll probably eat jigs, but I don't know. I don't know where to find them. I don't know what their pattern is. It's my understanding that, from what I do know, is that they're like the pelagics out here, is that they roam. Because I went and fished for them up in Colorado River. I didn't find any, but the guy I talked to, I went to a local tackle store, and he gave me some jerk baits, and he was saying that because I told him I was from Southern California, and he was like, they're like yellowtail, and that they're small schools, but they roam. He said they go up and down the river. There's not like, so they're like lake pelagics. They don't stay in one spot. They're not on the bottom. They don't just stick to the outside. Like they actually roam. They're looking for food. They're looking for schools of fish. So they're like the same thing. You might find them at one end, and then they return because they don't stay, as my understanding. Like they're around looking for fish. So you got to kind of find the school and get them as they're passing by. Yeah, there are a lot of regs, but I think we can figure it out. The striper demolished those trout immediately. Once they put them in, it gets stupid sometimes. Cut anchovy. Interesting. Yeah, pretty much anything you put in there, I think. That's nuts. Well, yeah, something to think about. Maybe when we like don't have anything to do in the salt water. But it's still kind of warm. Like I was up there today, and it was like 77 degrees up in the mountains. It was nice. Like it was really a nice day. So still probably a good time to go. From Temecula, Silverwood is just over an hour and 45 minutes. Yeah, so for me, it's like 2 hours, 2 hours 15 minutes, I'd say, because I'm like 30 minutes, 40 minutes from Temecula. Yeah, we'll have to check it out. All right, guys, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for joining. Glad you guys could all be here again. Sorry for the show. I didn't have too much planned. Usually I got something to go over. So if I rambled on, I didn't stay, too on course. I do apologize. I'm just kind of BSing with you guys today more than anything. Freestyling. You guys had some good topics, so we filled it in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself, nevertheless. Next time we'll be more prepared. We'll have a big topic to talk about. Dorados are here. Fishing is still hot, guys. Go out there. It's going to vanish pretty quick. Then we're back to the bays. Bay fishing is awesome too. But, yeah, Captain Dan wanted me to shout out to you guys. He's not here. He said he's going to watch the replay. He said, thank you, everybody, for the pickle run. He said, even though he had a problem with his boat, he really appreciates you guys. And I think it's silly. We appreciate that guy more than anything, man. He gives way more, I think, than we give to him. But he just wanted to say hi, and he thanks you guys for everything you do. We thank you, Captain Dan, if you watch the replay. I know he's out there speaking, giving like a boat etiquette seminar. And I asked him, and I said, hey, if you want to come in and talk about it, I think that's something that's good. Good to know on here too. So thanks, guys, for joining. We'll see you guys again. Hopefully I'll see you guys Saturday. WTF League. Check out Eric Lehman's got a league. You can check him out, Spotty Bowl, on Instagram. He's got a tournament. It's a team tournament, or you can do it singles. I believe it's in Mission Bay. I think it's 5 smallest fish, 5 smallest spotties, something like that. So if you want to join, get a crack at the belt, check that out. Go to Spotty Bowl on Instagram. You can get all the rules. I think you just meet him there. You pay him. You can join. Chance to win a cool belt. At least you get to hold it until you lose the next one. So definitely check that out for sure. Yeah, dude. I agree. I think it'll be a good vote. I think it would be a good vote. I second that one for sure. All right, guys. Until next time, maybe I'll see you guys this weekend on the water and go catch some fish. Let's get our black belts in fishing, guys. Submissionfishing.com. Get your slow death jigs. Get those 20 grams. They're coming up while they're still hot. And we'll see you on the next one, guys. Next Thursday. Oos.